Hi, my name's Johnny, and today I might just take a second to pause this video and acknowledge the fantastic star of the show in this video, and that is the little bit of skin that's hanging off of my bottom lip. Played a great role in this one, just hanging on in there for the entire video. So if you could leave a like and comment down below acknowledging its presence, that would be fantastic. Now that's out of the way, let's get on with the video. We are having a look at some new releases for this year. New year, new me, new basses. As I'm sure many of you gear nerds at home know, January is normally a really exciting time for music equipment getting announced and shown off at the Namm show in America. Now, unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances and worldly events, the Namm show obviously isn't taking place. Not to fret, everyone is still sticking to the schedule, releasing all of their stuff in January. Or most of their stuff anyway, I should hope. We're now in February, so I thought this would be a good time to sum up all of the exciting launches that are coming out this year. Okay, first off, let's have a look at Epiphone. Now, a load of you got in touch with me about this first one because they are bringing back the Embassy. It's almost as if they might have seen a certain YouTuber's video posing the question of whether they should bring back this discontinued model. So they're bringing back the Embassy. It looks like it's mostly the same from the specs, but they have got some really exciting new colours. They've got that gorgeous gold, the arousing red, a really great green, and a bloody brilliant black. All of these colours look fantastic. I'm particularly interested to see what the gold and the green is like in person. They also bring out some new colours for the Jack Cassidy semi-hollow bass. I've heard such good things about these basses. I've not met someone that's got a bad word to say about them. Looks like they've got this really cool blue and also a really nice deep red colour. Limited new stuff from Epiphone, but some cool releases nonetheless. Now, whilst we're in the whilst we're in the Gibson family, Gibson itself, they're not doing themselves any favour, are they? Like, just give us a grabber or a ripper bass. Come on! For years have been neglecting us bass players, just bringing out the standard Thunderbird and SG. This year, they have done a slight twist. They're bringing out a non-reverse Thunderbird. A couple of different colours. Two of them are greeny blueies that look quite similar, and whilst they do look mighty tasty, probably way too expensive for my tiny wallet. Moving on. Next up, a company that I have never tried. Obviously know about them, but never really tickled my pickle, and that is Jackson. I'm sure many of you would have seen Patrick Hunter has already done a video on one of these Jacksons, that being these X Series concert, and it's like a modern Jackson take on a Rickenbacker with the hardware, but just looks awful. Oh no, the colours are too bright. They could have saved it maybe if they went with like an all black look or something like that. But what is interesting is that they are doing some nice looking basses, that being the Pro Series Spectre range. Now, these are kind of very Ibanez looking guitars, and I really like the look of these. I don't really like the look of the ones with the flat colours, but ones with burst look really nice. And I think that's because the horn, it's a bit too horny for me. They look pretty cool. Now, speaking of Ibanez, let's have a look at what they're doing this year. Following the success of their headless bass range, they're bringing out some short scales of the EHB, and in some really cool colours, particularly that kind of rose goldish pink looking colour, which is really cool. I personally would prefer just going with a matte shell pink like they've done with the full scale version. A lot of you at home seem to be really excited about these. Also, multiple new basses in the SR range. I was going to focus more deeply on them, have a deeper look, but I am not going to try and remember all the names of those because they're just absolute madness. By the way, all of these basses, all of the ones I'm going to be mentioning, all of the companies, I'll leave links in the description so you can go and check them out for yourselves. Moving on. Wow, this really is a whistle-stop tour through the brands. Music Man. So nothing really too exciting from the Sterling side, which I was most interested in. Looks like they're doing some really cool stuff with the guitar range, particularly the Cutlass. I was really hoping for a Cutlass bass, but looks like they're not even doing one in the Music Man range anymore. In the main Stingray collection, we are getting some short scales with roasted maple necks and two standard colours, Vintage Sunburst and a Starry Night, which is like a sparkly grey looking colour. That's what I love about Music Man, that they do some really, really cool and different colours and concepts and ways, combinations that you can have the basses. For instance, looking at the normal Stingrays, we've got some incredible looking colours in there. The Aqua Sparkle, Ghostwood, which is like a shoreline gold, which is like one of my favourite ever colours. Frost Green Pearl. Oh yes, very nice. Particularly that Speed Blue. Look at that with the black hardware. Oh my God. So another element that I mentioned there was roasted maple necks, and that is very much becoming a trend for 2021, I think, and we'll get onto that later on. PRS. Now, PRS are so well known for their incredible looking guitars, but they don't really get that much love in the bass world. What's new for 2021? We've got the return of the Kingfisher bass, alongside their long-standing Kestrel bass in the SE series. Now, the Kingfisher was around before. I remember it being in like a red colour. I can't remember what other colours it came in, but now we are getting a like quilted maple looking transparent blue. It's completely passive neck through model, and it's kind of got those slightly smaller casing looking humbuckers in there, which I don't normally like the sound of, but head over to their page and watch the video on it. It sounds really, really good. Okay, next up is Charvel. Charvel have brought out the San Dimas. I don't know how you say it. There are two models here. We've got a 4-string and a 5-string. The 4-string being a PJ configuration and the 5-string being the 2 jazz pickups. I don't know why they decided to go for that, but for me personally, I think a double J 5-string is more appealing than a PJ 5-string, so I get why they do that, but a bit rubbish if you wanted the dual jazz pickups on the 4-string. These have on board a 3-band active preamp, roasted maple necks, all gold hardware, and some outstanding colours. Green and the blue look really cool, but it's the 5-string. Come on, in that green, that like forest green with the gold hardware, roasted maple neck. You comment down below and tell me that you don't like that bass. I dare you. It's so cool looking. In my opinion, anyway, of course. Moving on to ESP. I don't think I've ever played an ESP, but I always hear good things. So first off, let's talk about their new M4, which is a really, really simplified, stripped down run and gun bass, I presume is aimed at metal players. With its slightly pointy headstock, really simplified controls, single humbucker towards the bridge position, single volume knob. Really, really cool. I love the simplicity of this. I don't really like the pointy headstock. If it was reversed, I think that could be quite cool, but I'm not really a pointy headstock kind of person. I kind of prefer vintage looks on basses. They're also bringing back the Phoenix, which is their take on a Thunderbird. Kind of looks a little bit more modern with its inlays and the headstock design, but the one that has stolen the show for me, and I'm so gassed about this bass, is the new vintage white GB4. The GB series is nothing new. They offered it last year in a seafoam green and another colour, I think. I can't remember what that colour was. Go and check out Bully the Kid and Low and Lobster's videos on this bass. It's a really awesome sounding guitar, and I would love to get my hands on that vintage white one because it looks so nice. Okay, moving on to Spectre. Now, I have loved Spectre for years. I've always wanted one of their Euro basses ever since I saw Tom Doyle from Don Broco, which is one of my favourite bands, rocking one. Just sounds so good. Unmistakable sound from those Spectres. Got some really exciting basses coming out this year, particularly from their NS range. We've got the NS Dimension, which is a fan-fretted multi-scale bass, coming equipped with Fishman Fluency pickups. Now, over the past 6 months, I think I've seen the name Fishman more than like Seymour Duncan. These pickups are popping up everywhere and coming stock in a lot of new models. So I'm really excited to hear what they sound like. Just look at this thing, the 5-string in particular, in that green colour, which is actually called Haunted Moss. What a sick name for a colour. From their Pulse range, we've got more sandblasted stuff. Not really into that, but there's a really cool Interstellar finish from the Ethos range. And one other thing, which I think is going to become a bit more of a trend. In that Ethos, you've got the PJ configuration, but the P pickup is flipped around. Now, I know Mark Hoppus has been doing this for years. He does lots of chords and lots of stuff high up on those higher strings, and by flipping the P-bass pickup round, you kind of get a more trebly output on the lower strings and a thicker sound on the higher strings. I can see that becoming a bit of a trend this year. We've already seen some Ibanez's doing it, Yamaha as well been doing it. Okay, last, and I want to say not least, but it kind of is least, is Fender. Fender have been hitting the headlines, loads of new guitar models coming out. Bass, like next to nothing. Like, are you kidding me? Come on. Whilst there are some Japanese models coming out that look quite interesting, from the main Fender line, it looks like we're just getting the 75th anniversary basses. I feel like there's always a range which is trying to be the most classic. Like, how many times have we had this again and again? And whilst I do really like the diamond anniversary finish, now I think what they should have done with these basses is make the hardware black. Headstock just looks a bit naked. I don't know what it is. If they just did that to the hardware, I think it would... I think it would make this bass look so much nicer. I'm hoping that we get some more announcements down the line, particularly for Squier. Just go and look at the new Squier contemporary stuff for 2021 in the guitar range. My jaw like hit the floor when I saw some of these models. Really cool pickup configurations. Roasted maple necks. When are we going to get some roasted maple neck basses from Fender? Let's do it. Sire have already been doing it. Come on. Towards the end of 2020, it looks like they did a limited run of the contemporary jazz bass in like a midnight satin with a roasted maple neck. Putting some feelers out there, seeing if people like it. Yes, we do. We do. Really cool stuff coming out of the Squier guitars. I just hope it's replicated with the basses later on in the year. So that is it. So we've had a look at 10 different brands there and seeing what they're doing for 2021. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you are most excited about, what trends you think we'll see for this year, and also what you're hoping will get launched later in the year. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.